Hello, everybody. My name is Whitley Lemons, and I'm a staff assistant here at the Extension office. And today I'm going to show you how we can sign up for registering our entries onto fairentry.com. So right now I'm going to share my screen. So I'm going to do a step-by-step tutorial of everything that you need to do to make sure you can get your fair entries entered online correctly. So the easiest way to find fair entry is to just type into Google. Let me type here, fair entry, and that's it. For you all at home, probably the easiest thing for you to do now is just to go to find your fair. So we're going to click on that. And in this search bar right here where it says search by keyword, we're going to type in Harrison. And then you don't have to worry about this sorted by at all. You don't touch that. You go down here to this filter by state. And then you want to look for Kentucky. Just hit Kentucky and then click search. All right, so for right now, our fair is the only one who's going to show up. Ours is the only one whose registration is open. So if you do it early, that should be able to help you. But this is ours, July 15th through July 22nd. So we're going to just go ahead and tap on that. And see here, it shows that our registration is currently open. And this will show you when it's technically going to close right now on the 21st. That'll end up changing because it will close a little bit earlier. It's going to close on the 13th. But for now, for this dry run, I just had it to stay open a little bit longer. But just keep in mind that that date will change right here, this end date. So now we're going to sign in. For you all at home, you shouldn't have an account yet. So we're going to go to create a fair entry account. And here, this is where you're going to type in your email. Now, if you already have an email, this is where you'll put it in. A Gmail account, Yahoo email, anything that'll work will be fine. If you do not have an email though, I'm going to use the email that we want everyone to use if they do not have an email. So just a reminder, if you have an email, you use your personal email. If you do not have an email, this is the one we want you to use. It is Harrison County Extension Office at gmail.com. And down here at the bottom where it says confirm email, you're just going to retype that. So Harrison County Extension Office at gmail.com. Okay, once you get that typed in, you're just going to go ahead and create your account. So for this account name, you will use your personal information, of course. So I'm just going to, I've already put myself in here once, so I'm just going to come up with something else. So we're just going to do Sarah. Then a phone number, of course, we want you to use a cell phone number. That's a little bit easier just to keep a hold of and to get in touch with you all. So if you can use the cell phone number, that would be great. I'm just gonna make one up. Just remember this, we like for you to use your actual personal cell phone number here. And then a password. This password, it doesn't need to be difficult or it doesn't need to be terribly long or anything. It needs to be something that's easy for you to remember. So I'm just gonna type one in. But I would definitely recommend writing down all of your information because this will be your same login information for this year's fair and for next year's fair and just for the fairs to come. This will be pretty much the same. So I would definitely recommend writing this information down. Okay, so once you've gotten logged in, put your email and created a password, now we are going to begin our registration. So you just go ahead and tap on that. Now this is just basic, nothing spectacular here. Do you want to register an individual? Yes, we do. So we click on that. This is where you type in your information. So I'm just gonna Sarah Smith. Anything. Your birth date is required. Nothing, I mean, this just normal thing. Oh, when you do this though, make sure you put in these backslashes, okay? Because if you don't put in these backslashes, it won't register it as an actual birthday. So you don't have, this grade is optional. If you're registering a child, it might be the best thing to do. Oh, and this is a good point too. For this part right here, if you are a parent and you are entering your child, then this exhibitor, this new individual exhibitor, this is where you'll put your child's name. Now, if you need to do it for yourself and your children, you can do whichever one you want to do first. If you want to enter your entries first, go right ahead and put your information here. But if you are a parent who is just putting in your child's entries, then you can put their name and birth date on this information part right here. So once you get that entered, you're just going to push continued. Okay, so this is where you need to put in your information. Like I said, if you're putting a child in, this information that we need is the parents. So if you're a parent putting your child's in, we need the parents' contact information. Now, if you feel confident that you can put your child's information in here and we will be able to get a hold of them, feel free to do that. But we recommend if you are a parent putting in your children, put your information. So this home phone, if you have a home phone, you can put that in there. But since this is a required field, we ask that you put, again, your cell phone number in there. You can put your email in here again if you would like. You do not have to, it is optional. And a cell phone number, if you want to put, say you do have a home phone number, if you want to put that home phone number here, or you put your home phone number there and put your cell phone number, it's up to you. We just need to make sure we get, if you don't have a home phone number, that cell phone number goes in right here, okay? And we don't need to know your cell phone carrier, so you don't have to answer that question at all. Okay, your home address. We definitely need to put this in because this is, we send your premium checks to you all by mail. So make sure you put that in. And it is a required field, so if you do not fill it out, it will not let you continue. So either way, it has to be filled out. Okay. So this is very important. What this is showing you is the dates and the times that we have available for people to bring in their entries for the fair. So like this is not to register. We have separate days and times for that. Please feel free to call us at the extension office here, 234-5510, to sign up for if you need help registering. These dates right here, though, are showing you the days and times that you can drop your items off at the fair, okay? So before you can enter anything, you have to select a date and a time. These are in 15 minutes intervals, so just keep that in mind when you get there at the fair, just to have your stuff ready, just to help us make the day go a lot smoother and a lot faster for everyone. So I'm just going to select a random time, and we're going to push continue. All right. So this is your dashboard pretty much. This is what it's going to look like. It'll show you all your information here. And if, say, your phone number changes and you need to fix that, you can push this edit here and you could change that. Okay. So you have the ability to change anything you need to. It's going to take you back through all of that good stuff if you need to change something right there. But we just wanted to let you know that you do have that option to change anything. right there. So now, if everything looks correct and you don't need to change anything else, we could continue to our entries. All right, so for Sarah Smith, we are going to add an entry, and this is where we do it right here in this little add an entry box. So Sarah, she is thinking about doing some canning. All right, so we're gonna select that department for canning. Canning's the department. Our division is what we have. So Sarah has some fruits. So that's the division that she wants. So we're gonna choose fruits as a division. All right, now this page right here is gonna show you the classes that we have. Okay, so and you all, of course, you'll have the fair book to help you, to guide you for if you need to know like how many classes you can enter for a division and all that good stuff. We'll let you know when we get those fair books in here at the office for you to pick them up. But I would definitely recommend picking up a fair book before you start this process, just so you know what all you can enter and how many classes you can enter. So for right now, we're going to say Sarah has some blackberries, okay? Now you could change, like, you can pick another class if you want, if there's that availability. So we're going to say she has blackberries and pears. So we're going to hit continue up there. And now this is where we can review anything if we need to make sure we click the right classes, blackberries and pears. That sounds good. If that's not good, you just hit cancel and you can recheck mark the ones that you need. If everything looks good, we're going to create entries. Alrighty, so we have those two there. Now, if we want to go ahead and add another entry, we can. And I'm going to add another one because there is something that you all need to see. Some of these spots, some of these sections are for club members only. So, for example, and this will say it in the fair book too. It'll show you in the fair book. Adult homemaker art. Now, adult homemaker art, and it shows you right here. This is for homemakers only. So this is for the people who pay their homemaker dues for that year. These are the only, class is just for them and for them only. So if you are a homemaker member and you want to enter into this class, then you need to make sure you go over here to where it says club, and you need to push this change. Okay, so this means that you're picking a club that you're in. Okay, so for homemakers, homemakers is in this other tab. All right, and then you're just gonna click on that. It'll light up blue to show you that you're selecting it, and that's what we want. You need to pick that and select it, and then once you pick the club that you're in, which for this class you can only be a homemaker member, so that's the only class, the only club you can pick for this. So once you pick that, you let us know that you're in the club. Then you can decide whichever class you want to do. Sarah has some drawings that she wants to turn in. So then we're going to push continue. And again, this is where you can check it to see, make sure that you have that club in there and everything. So create entry. Alrighty. So that one is done. I think Sarah has all of her entries in, everything's looking good. If you need to register another exhibitor, like I said, if you're a mother, father who are putting in their children, or a grandmother who's putting in her grandchildren, whatever the case is, grandfather, whatever it is. If you need to register another exhibitor or maybe register yourself, this is the button where you do this. And it'll take you through this whole step again. Okay, from the very beginning, selecting an individual all the way up to putting in their information in, okay? So we're gonna go back. Sarah's done, we're done. We don't have another exhibitor that we need to put in. So what we're gonna do now for Sarah is we're gonna go to this review and complete outstanding records. Alrighty, so this is something that everybody's gonna have to do. And we realize that for people who have like 100 entries, this is not going to be a fun thing to do, but this is really going to help the judges, and it's going to help us ensure that we get your name on the right entry that you bring into us. Okay. So we need on this box here, we need you to describe what you have. Okay. And we need like a good description. So on this side here, it's going to tell you what entry you're describing. So for this first one, we're going to describe this blackberries. So I'm going to say a good descriptive explanation for that is a jar of blackberries with a red ribbon around the top lid. We'll just say around the lid. This way we can understand, like, if something happens to your entry tag, say it falls off or something, we can go in here ourselves. We can look for the description that you put in here of what your jar of blackberries looks like. And we could see, oh, it's the jar with the red ribbon around the lid. Now, granted, you might not be, it's probably, you're not allowed to really put a red ribbon around the lid, but we just need a way of knowing that it's yours. Okay? So you can also put, like, with if you can't tie a red ribbon around the top, then you could say with my initials. On the lid. You can also do that. If it has your initials on the lid, that's perfect. Tell us that it has those initials on the lid. So once that's done, you're just going to push continue. And now it's going to ask you this too after every single entry that you have. It's just to make sure that you're not forgetting anything or another person that you need to enter. So if you need to add another entry for Sarah, you can do that. Or if you need to register someone else, you can do that here as well. If not, we want to go on and to our review and complete. So this one is the pears. Same thing, we need a good description, what it looks like, okay? So a jar of pears with my initials. I don't know how to spell this. Initials on the lid. And if you even want to put in parentheses your initials, that's perfect. SS initials, okay? So once that's done, you got a good description, push continue. Same thing. It's going to ask you this again if you need to know that, okay? If not, you're going to go to this review complete outstanding records, and we're going to do it again. So for this one, we have a pastel drawing, okay? So we're going to put on here that it's a drawing of a meadow with a fox. Something to let us know, like a pastel drawing. We wouldn't automatically know. Of course, we can look at your tag, but like I said, if something happened to that tag or anything, if we can go back on here and look to see what it is and whose name and who it belongs to, this just helps us a whole bunch. If you can give us a good description of what that drawing is or what the jar might have on it to make it yours, just to keep it all in check. So once you're done, oh, and I forgot to mention this, if you decide at this point, oh, actually, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this drawing in time, like just had a moment to think about it, you can delete this entry here too. Okay? So if you have second thoughts about it, you can delete this entry right now and it would be fine. But if you are good, everything's good, you just push continue here. All right. Now, again, it's going to ask you this before you go on to your payment. But if you don't need to add another entry or register anybody else, we're going to go on to continue to payment. Now, if you see up here, you'll see that this is 0. For everything that you enter, this should always remain a 0. We do not charge for you to enter into our fair, to enter entries at least. So this should always remain a 0, but we still have to continue to payment. Alrighty, so this is your summary detail. This is to show you that your invoice is 0 because we do not charge you. So nothing's going to happen here. We're going to continue on. And payment method, you don't have to put a payment method in because you don't need to pay for anything. So we're going to push continue on there too. One last step, this is just to show you like what's going to be happening. Obviously, you don't need to pay attention to this. Your credit card will not be charged until a manager approves the records. You're not putting in a credit card at all. So you don't have to worry about that at all. The records will be locked to editing, and that's going to be awaiting our approval. But once you hit submit to this, your entries are automatically in. We do not have to approve anything on your entries. So once you hit the submit button, there's nothing else you need to do. So we're going to go ahead and submit. Now, there's one more thing I want to show you on this before we sign out. We're just going to go to our dashboard. Now, if the first time you enter in anything and say you enter all your stuff in and you're good to go, you've submitted it, you're good. If you have accidentally forgotten something and you want to sign back in and register something else, you are more than welcome to do that. Okay. So when you sign back in, you're going to log in the same way I showed you to begin with, search fair entry, search our county fair, all that good stuff. Then you're going to put in your email or our email that we're having everybody, the people who don't have an email use. You're going to enter that along with your password. And this is the page that'll show up. Okay, this is your dashboard. This will be the page that you see from now on after you've registered entries. Okay, so if you need to add something else, see it shows that you have 1 exhibitor and 3 entries. You can hit this view details. It'll show you what it is that you have entered. Okay, and you are more than welcome. You can print this right here. If you have a printer at home and you want to have a hard copy of what you've turned in, you are more than welcome to do that. It is right here. Feel free to go ahead and print those. All right, but this just shows you what you entered. Now let's go back to the dashboard. If you want to enter a new entry, you are more than welcome to do that. All you do is hit begin work on a new invoice, okay? And here is where we began earlier. You'll just go right here to create an entry. And that you'll just go through this whole step again. See all of these? You'll go through all of these steps, okay? Selecting your department, your division, your class, all that good stuff. I'm not going to go back through it because we've already done it, and it should be, you can always go back on this later if you need to. But I just wanted to let you know that this is in here. This is perfect. If you need to add a new one, feel free. We do want to suggest that I know that some things you might not know if you're going to have at the time that the fair actually begins. Say you're not sure if your flowers are going to be in the right, if you're going to have them by that time or anything like that. We are suggesting you go ahead and you enter everything you think you might have. Okay, you can enter 500 items if you think that you're going to have 500 entries. And if you do that, you enter 500 and you end up coming to the fair with only 30 of those items, that is perfectly fine. There's nothing. We just need to make sure you get them entered before you try to come to check in. Because if you come to check in, there's not an option where you can do it there at that day. Okay, you have to do it beforehand. So we're just suggesting you put everything in that you think you will have, and if you show up without it, that is perfectly fine. It's not going to ruin anything. All we do is we just don't select it. That's literally it. So we're gonna select the ones that you do bring to us, and we won't touch the ones that you didn't bring. So, like I said, we just want to make sure that you try to enter everything that you think you're gonna have. That way, we're not gonna, that way you still have the option to have them if you don't before you try to come to check in. So, if there's nothing else that you need to do, then you're just gonna go up here to your name, and you're gonna hit that sign out button. It might take a minute. It's loading here, if you can see. But you're just gonna sign out, and if everything's good, then you're good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing this. And we do have dates for you all to come get some help. Those are June 29th, July 6th, and oh darn, there was one more. June 29th, and I think, well, no, those dates are for sure. But feel free to call up to our office, because if you need help entering your stuff, you'll have to come up here to the extension office to do it. But if you could give us a call, we have times that are available for each. There's 3 days. We have times available for you all to come in on those 3 days. We can give you that over the phone, and we can get you signed up to help you register online. If you have any questions, please let us know. Please feel free to call us. Our phone number is 859-234-5510. Thank you.